Good morning from the land. 6 a.m. Just drank my coffee. I made a AeroPress, which is like a travel size French press. That's a really great press actually. So I made an AeroPress cup of coffee with a double shot of espresso in there. Probably around 120 milligrams of caffeine, which is actually totally chill. Anything under about 180 per day, the science says is a-okay. And I'm feeling great. Thought I'd walk around the farm here with Mags, check in on a couple things, show you guys while I answer some questions that I gathered from Instagram yesterday. Check out these beans. They're a red bean. They're beautiful. They're fruiting in abundance right now. That's like one of my biggest focuses on the farm right now is staple abundance. People can even grow rice in this area. We haven't attempted yet, but that's why I'm focusing on yucca, like these, and sweet potatoes and beans and plantains, staples, things that produce lots of calories year round. Okay, so we got some questions this morning from Miles, Dogs on Cyrus, and Jesse Packman from New Zealand. Jesse asked, well, first let's start with Dogs on Cyrus. Said, did you buy land here in Costa Rica that was like just bare land or jungle, or were there already structures and water and fruit trees and some infrastructure on it? And the answer is, as we look around this beautiful farm filled with springs and wells and greenhouses and yoga decks and homes and rental properties and fruit trees and beautiful hibiscus flowers and all this stuff, we have built all of it. By we, I mean me, Natalia, with our parents' help as well, and the helpers and people we hired to help us build our house and stuff like that. This was cattle grazing land. Let me tell you what this means. Here in the jungle, in the tropics, where you see all those thick trees, that's jungle land. It is thick and dense. And what farmers have done here over the last century pretty much is cut down all the trees like this, plant grass, and put their cows on it to sell meat and have milk and all of that. So this land that we bought, as you can see, there's not too many large trees. Like there is one there, and then the jungle starts right over there. Most of our land was cattle grazing land, which means it looked like that when we got it. There was no fruit trees. It was just tall grass. I'm talking grass like this, like 6 foot tall cattle grass, like right there. And there was nothing. There were no structures. There was no electricity. There was no water. There were pretty much no mature fruiting trees. It was bare cattle grazing land with a bit of jungle. We do have, and we got to make a path in there because it's beautiful, just dense, thick jungle that hasn't been touched in quite a long time. So we've done everything, and it's been an absolute beast of a project. I mean, it's what we've been doing the last 2 years, and anyone can do it. You can do it if you have aspirations to buy land, because the land is cheaper when there's nothing on it. If you buy land where someone's already put in the electrical wires for electricity and have tubes and water flowing through it, easier to build. Flat areas, like we had to flatten out all these areas. It was just the mountains, just like that. And we've planted hundreds and hundreds, and at this point thousands of trees and plants. So everything you see on our farm that's just fruiting in abundance, Natalia and I put this in the ground. So we contracted out the building stuff, like this greenhouse in our home. You know, I found a guy who's my good friend here, who builds homes and greenhouses and things like that. So we contracted that out, and Natalia and I have done all of the farming. So we put in all of these trees and plants and feed the trees. Maggie, let's take a walk. Come here. This is our passion fruit trellis. And yeah, it's just an insane endeavor, and it's continuing to grow. Like, we're about to finish our next rental house, which you can rent, by the way. Hit me up. We now have a 2-bedroom rental house. We're looking for long-term renters, meaning like a month or more. Maggie. And yeah, we're always growing and building. Check out these bean flowers. So yeah, we've done it, and it's been a massive endeavor. Still going, but we're very happy with where we're at. Next question was about, are we planning to do a home birth? Because if you didn't know, Natalia, my wife, been married 6 weeks now, is pregnant, and we're having a baby girl here on the farm. We found a midwife, someone local here who's experienced many home births, facilitating the midwife role. And yeah, the plan is to have our baby here in the house on the farm with little to no medical intervention at all. And we do have a backup plan if emergency help with a hospital is needed. There's a hospital just 30 minutes away that we can go to with a doctor on call. That's the plan. So you'll hear more about that later. The next question, what else was there? There was that. It was about if I'm smoking weed these days and thoughts on anxiety and marijuana use and cannabis use. I am a sober man. It's crazy to think about the transformations on this channel. Like, my most viewed video is called Watch Me Buy Weed in Canada or something. Vancouver. Yeah, I used to be a weed head for sure, into the cannabis lifestyle, but no, I have let that go, and it's made my life much better to live a sober life. I'm more focused. I'm more engaged in my relationships. I am happier, honestly. With any medicine or drug that you're using consistently, meaning like on a daily basis, it's bound to imprison you, and you need it in order to feel good. And I really started to not like that dependence, and through the help and inspiration of my partner, my wife, and loved ones, I gained the strength to try to break the habit. And honestly, my life is just so much better. More productive, more energetic, happier. Honestly, I believe in just getting to that baseline emotional chemistry of who you really are with no influence of outside factors. Now, I'm still a big believer in like intentional plant medicine, psychedelic experiences for personal growth. So I can still see myself doing like an annual ayahuasca ceremony, for instance, or maybe an annual mushroom ceremony. But in terms of stuff like alcohol or weed or tobacco, things that you just do to kind of relax or whatever, get in that mindset, I'm just not feeling them right now. And it doesn't mean they're bad. You might enjoy them. I enjoyed them for years, but for me right now, I'm really vibing and connecting with living a sober life. Here's our yoga deck, which will be hosting a cacao ceremony, ecstatic dance, yin yoga session next weekend. Can't wait for that. And yeah, I'll do some more Q&A videos. Let me know what you think about this one. And please comment down below with more questions and I'll answer them. Hope I don't look too tired. It's still early in the morning. Gonna probably get on my bicycle and go for a bike ride before we have a little local eco-feria farmers market hangout session our town today at another person's land. Much love. Dream extreme. Peace. This is a pataste tree. I think it's pataste. Yeah, it's pataste. Wow, what beautiful new growth.